Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, and thank you for stopping by. All right, guys, I'm going to use the time for bullet points this morning, and I'm going to bring you something that made me smile a little bit. Because we talked about something very specific in Biden's speech yesterday around how he was talking about wanting the filibuster changes when he was in Atlanta for a voting rights push. This is really important where he was and what he was doing because some CNN articles this morning were saying, hey, there were some people there that should have been there. And it turns out that the Democrats in Georgia were boycotting him completely. Of course, you didn't see that, but this is what we're going to talk about. There's some important things here, and I've got some clips that will really start your day off right because the reactions from some of these CNN guys here are phenomenal. That's what I've got for you guys. The Second Press news article went out at 8 a.m. this morning. Received very, very well. Thank you guys so much for your support. There's a link in the description box below if you want to jump on for 2 weeks for free. But let's jump on because we are making some differences here. Okay, so the first thing I would like to start off with is the opening clip from CNN about how Democrat voting groups didn't go to Biden's voting speech. Check this out.
Of voting rights groups in Georgia are planning to boycott President Biden's speech today in Atlanta. They say that without a concrete plan to pass election reform laws that have so far been blocked by Republicans, the president shouldn't bother coming. CNN.
Oop. All right, now that was the setup before Biden's speech. Listen to listen to some of the information that occurred after. Okay, because Stacey Abrams is running for governor here. Now, Stacey Abrams is Miss Voting Rights. She was defeated by Brian Kemp in the last gubernatorial election here in Georgia, and she got stuffed, and she made her entire election around voting rights. But curiously, she wasn't at Biden's speech yesterday about voting rights. Let's keep going. I want to show you this article, and CNN is almost in disbelief. Check this out. Stacey Abrams and Biden blame scheduling issue for voting rights speech absence. Oh, I totally would have been there for one of my mainstay concepts of my entire gubernatorial campaign, but I had a scheduling conflict. The sitting president of the United States, you couldn't make it? Darn schedules. That must be what it is. Let's keep going. Because there's other people too. CNN. Both President Joe Biden and Georgia Democratic gubernatorial candidate Stacey Abrams are citing a scheduling issue to explain why the state's most prominent voting rights activist will not be attending the Democratic president's speech on the topic in Atlanta on Tuesday afternoon. This is CNN. They're kind of like, guys, what's going on? Let's keep going because there's even more groups. Abrams, who used her 2018 gubernatorial loss to Brian Kemp to elevate voting rights as an issue and is running for governor again in 2022, has a scheduling conflict, a spokesperson told CNN. Yeah, scheduling conflict. And it's just phenomenal. But the fact that arguably the Democratic Party's most prominent voting rights advocate, someone who founded Fair Fight Action, an organization that advocates for voter protection across the country after her 2018 defeat, won't be at the president's voting rights speech in her own state, has struck some Democrats as questionable. Yeah, I get that. I see that. But listen to what Ronna McDaniel, the Republican the RNC head, says. It's very interesting that Stacey Abrams has a conflict and can't join him, Ronna McDaniel, chair of the Republican National Committee, said on a call with reporters on Tuesday. I think we all know what the conflict is. It is Joe Biden's terrible poll numbers. True and savage, well played, Ronna. But Abrams' absence was made even more striking after several voting rights groups said they too will not attend the speech because they would like to see action on voting rights legislation, not just another speech by the president. It does not get worse than this. Oh, I think the time would be better spent for the president to go to the Senate, give a speech in the Senate, and then make sure that they vote on legislation, said Jerry Gonzalez, CEO of Georgia Association of Latino Elected Official, an organization that also said they won't attend the event. Awkward. James Woodall, the state president of the Georgia NAACP, another organization that won't be attending the Biden speech. It's just bad. And this is the last group I'm going to hit on. This is the next clip from CNN. This is from a group called Black Voters Matter. Okay, this is a very key mainline Democratic voting rights activist group. Check this out.
Now, one of the voting rights advocates who will not be attending President Biden's speech today, the co-founder of Black Voters Matter, Cliff Albright. Cliff, why aren't you going?
Yeah, good morning to you. Well, as we said in our written statements, essentially what we're saying is that, we'd rather that the president had stayed in D.C. and perhaps delivered this speech to the Senate, to the Democratic caucus. They meet every Tuesday morning. He could have gone there and delivered the speech, because at this point, what we're saying is we don't need another speech from the president.
We don't need another speech from the president. We need him to do something. All of these main voting rights advocacy groups boycotted Biden. This is the reason, and the tie-in to the filibuster, the tie-in to the buy-in for Biden himself, he's not got the support he needs because his poll numbers and his approval is in the tank. And that's what I wanted to bring for you today. I hope that brightened up your morning a little bit, and I will see you on the next one at 9 p.m. tonight. I'm Braden. See you later.